Okay, I've got the horse up here on the bench. I'm going to start putting the hardware on. When the customer brought the horse to me, there was no bolts. All the bolts were missing. All the parts were separate. So now in the process of putting bolts in. So I'm going to use some 1/4-inch carriage bolts, which is probably what was here. But I have to cut these to length. These are a little bit long. And we're going to use a washer and then a square nut on the bottom. Can't use a hex nut. Hex nut wouldn't look appropriate. Now the heads on these bolts are a little bit larger than the original. It doesn't quite sit. There's a little depression here where the old bolt head was. So I'm just going to take a chisel, carving chisel, and just relieve that area a little bit. Now the bolt will sit flat. Just stack the nut and washer underneath and just kind of mark best I can the length. Now I'm ready to put the rear axle on. I had it temporarily put in place with some bolts. And I don't like the appearance of having nuts and bolts come through. So I'm going to plug these holes and just put a wood screw. An old wood screw. That'll be more than adequate to hold the axle in place. Okay, I temporarily had the trunnion screwed in place, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Drill out and plug these holes, and use some wood screws as well, some old wood screws. Some 3/8 plugs. Okay, I've got part of an old screw down in here. Drilling out the holes for the, there we go. Okay, we've got our plugs chiseled off flush. Now we're just going to mark our holes. I'm doing the final fit up on the wheels here, and the axle is just a little bit too small for the hole that I drilled. It's got a little bit of a wobble. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to wrap some aluminum tape, around, 3 or 4 layers around the axle. Okay, I cleaned the axle first with some alcohol. Now I'm just going to start wrapping. I'm going to do 2 pieces first and then test it. Still a little wobbly. Try a 3rd one. And it still needs 1 more. Okay, here's our 4th layer. Perfect. Put the washer and the nut on, and we'll tighten that up and test it. Perfect. Okay, I'm doing the final mock-up on the rear wheels here. And what I made is a counterweight. I was test driving this on the floor, and didn't really want to keep spinning around when I was driving the levers. So I was kind of figuring there must have been a counterweight to help the wheels rotate, much like a steam engine has a counterweight that helps it rotate. So I made this here, and then this is going to clamp on, then clamp through the spokes. And I'm just going to drive 2 wood screws through. And then this will get painted to look like the steel. Okay, there we go. Now the paint finish on here is very dirty. I'm just going to do a very quick cleaning, a very light clean. Just going to use some TSP and warm water. I'm just going to do a very, I'm going to try a paper towel first and just kind of, just going to very lightly clean. That looks quite a bit better. A lot of dirt in the under the seat here. Get that pretty well cleaned up. Before I put the horse back together, we'll give it a coat of paste wax. Now on the levers here, I'm going to do a little bit of scrubbing. They're quite dirty. There's a lot of dirt and grease and grime on these. I'm going to start doing the paint finish on the wheels, and I'm going to do a distressed paint finish, trying to match the blue in the saddle here, and I got a really good close match. And we're going to paint the tire to look like rusted metal. Okay, the first step doing the paint finish is to do a background color. And we're going to use a aniline dye, dark brown walnut. And what that's going to do is give it a background color underneath the paint So when we do our distress paint finish, we see a dark color showing through. And we're just going to brush this on. Okay, the next step is we're going to seal in the die with just a light coat of acrylic. Okay, now we're going to put our blue paint on, and the technique here is we're going to just be dabbing blue paint around. We want it to have the appearance of it's peeling off in spots. So we're just going to be doing one coat. It's going to be a one coat, and it's going to be kind of dabbing it on. And skipping a few spots here and there, so it looks like it's been peeling off. Okay, our paint is dry, and now we're going to apply one coat of orange shellac. Okay, after that first coat of shellac, we've sealed in the paint. Now we're going to do some distress marks. Just going to take some black paint and just do some random little marks, even some little scratches. We're going to start on the tires. We're going to paint this to look like rusted steel. First we're going to start with just a light coat of black paint. Okay, now we're going to take some paint. I mixed up a kind of a brownish colored paint. Just experimented until I got the right color. And I'm just going to wet the brush and then get most of the paint off the brush. I'm just going to pound the paint on there. Okay, we're going to go over that a couple times doing this. And by pounding like this, it's going to give it a little bit of a texture. It'll have kind of a pitted and rough look like the rusted steel has. Just keep going around several times. And we're going to go along the edges. And I want a little bit of the rust to look like it's bleeding onto the wood. And I'm going to dip into a little bit of black, just straight black paint. And go over a little bit of the black. Just once again to add more texture. Okay, we've got our tires painted. Now I'm going to seal it again with another coat of shellac, and this time just a clear shellac. And now the final step is one good coat of the satin acrylic. Okay, we made new wheels. We used a piece of hardboard to replicate the steel tire, and made a fake counterweight and painted everything to look like rusty metal. I painted those bolts to make them look rusty as well. As you remember, I cleaned the paint on the horse and then applied a coat of paste wax. After cleaning those levers, I put a few coats of shellac on them. The distressed paint finish on the wheels looks absolutely terrific.